welcome back to my channel. My name is Courtney and I'm so glad that you all have decided to look at this video. My family and I are in the process of having our dream home built, and y'all, the process is like zooming so fast, like I can't even keep up with it. Like I'm excited at the same time, but I'm just like, dang, like they really moving out here. But as you all can see by the title of the video, today I'm gonna go over what was discussed during our pre-drywall meeting. We learned so much during that meeting. I really wasn't expecting to learn so much. I mean, I knew that the whole purpose of the pre-drywall meeting is to go through your whole house, make sure that everything that you paid for has been put in, make sure that everything is in place like how you want it, so that way before if anything needs to be changed, it needs to be changed at this moment, so that way when installation is put in, there's nothing else that you can do. Everything is basically in its place final. So I wasn't expecting to learn more things in addition to just confirming what was already there, but I actually did, and I learned something new. My husband learned something new, and my realtor. All three of us were there. Now I will say I'm going to show you all some clips of everything. I was able to get, I didn't show the camera on my construction manager's face for his own privacy or whatever, but I will let you all know it was like 17 degrees outside that day, so we were freezing, okay? Freezing. If you don't know, we're in Maryland, and honey. So anyway, let me go ahead and get into it. After I show you all the clips, I will get into what all we learned and the things that our construction manager told us. So let's get into it.
Your house has been ordered. I mean, they're supposed to come in a little bit ago. I think everything's coming in next week. I have 4 houses in the same stage as yours. Okay. 38, 40, 41, and 42. Okay. So they are coming in. We're current with inspections. The inspector will let me take it to certain points. He's letting me take it to that point. Okay. So I had, just kind of giving you the rundown. 38, I know you're very interactive. 38 was inspected today. I'm good to insulate. Okay. Yours is 42 is going in the time frame. You actually got put ahead of 40 because the HVAC guy went into the wrong house. Oh. So it puts you ahead of schedule. I can't put plumbing, electric in until I have HVAC. Right. HVAC went into there first. Got it. It should have gone in there. So you are still ahead. Nothing's jeopardizing any of your settlements. I want you to know that. Okay. There's things I can take to a point, but one thing I will not do as a seasoned construction manager, and I put windows into my life. I've banged nails, I've framed. I will not put windows in a house. Excuse me. I will not put drywall in a house to put windows in a house. Nobody wants that. You get the insulation wet behind the walls, you don't see it. You're asking for problems a year from now when you're living in the house and we don't really know about it. So please, you are on schedule. The way these work is these go off by heat or if you break it. So if there's a fire in here, and I do like to tell everybody to be cool, don't worry about it. 10 years Stanley Martin, I've never had a fire in any of my homes, okay? If there is a fire in the house, only the one that's jeopardized goes on. But the beauty of this is, if you're outdoor people or you like to grill, you could run your barbecue on gas and never look at another 5-gallon tank again. Oh my God. The other thing is fire pits. You got a lot of opportunity, and you got it easy because you don't have a finished basement. You're just like right up through there, boom, done. From here to the back. You just add another nipple. Okay. You just add another one, get back out. We actually have one right here.
Oh, so okay, because these 3 are already used for the 8.
So even if that one is used, you can still add another.
Yeah, you can kind of go like there. I don't want to get too.
No,
you can keep going with this.
Oh, that's cool.
The only thing you change is there somewhere along the line here. It's called a maxi troll. You know, like the little regulators on your tanks.
Yes.
If you just got to change your regulator once you get to too much of a volume.
Oh, so they can.
Yeah, I'm sure one more probably works because it's already here. The only thing to be aware of when you do that, it's not hard at all. I'm not too sure about the grills, but when you get into like a stove cooktop, it changes the orifices and the jets. I think like your outdoor grills are made for propane, but natural gas is actually the same thing. Propane is containerized. This is the same gas, but it's not containerized. Okay, so I think you may have to change the jets outside. This is when you wash your car and you got all that water spitting out of the hose. It's only coming out of this little pipe. So this is why I'm driving this home. You break that sprinkler head, please turn this off. There'll be a valve here. I'll show you how to operate that. And I'm going to get you to put your hands on it so you know how to turn it. That's all. It's really on or off. On or off, easy. More about this later. This is your main house water. So you really look at this, guys. It's driving more and more. It's enforcing what I'm saying. This water pipe is capable of taking everything in your house. This is your dishwasher, all your
washing machine,
everything. Hose bib, the whole house, fire suppression. Okay. Electric panel. This will all be marked up. You'll have everything on there. All I can tell you, if there's an emergency, never really have, come down and just turn the main off. Don't sit here and try to.
All right, you all saw that we were all bundled up and he was talking a lot, but I'm going to break down a lot of the different things that I asked questions about, things that he volunteered information on, and things that I want to be able to share with you all. Now, first, I did bring some questions because, you know, there were some things that I had some concerns on. You all can look at the previous videos and see different things that I had concerns about. But some questions that I had were whether or not we could remove the window one of the windows on that far wall in the owner's bedroom. He actually said we could not remove the window. We don't want to pay for any additional windows, but we cannot remove that window because the county requires a certain number of windows on the sides of houses, so that way if there's a fire, there's more access and more ways that we can escape from the home if there's an emergency. So that's a no. So I just had to figure out ways to, or a way to camouflage it or something. I've actually already been planning on some things of how I plan on, you know, making it work, but I will say I'm a little annoyed, but that's neither here nor there. The second thing that I had asked a question about was whether or not we could move the socket to the bed wall. At that moment, he said that there was nothing that could be done. He already brought out the electrician, blah, 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 blah. I didn't care about that, but I'm actually going to message or email the sales manager, because the thing is, what made me a little annoyed was that he said that it couldn't be done. If I would have said something to him beforehand, then he would have had the electrician to make sure it was on that side, because normally, you know, electricians have to have the sockets within a certain distance between each other around a room. But the thing is, you all didn't tell me when the electricity was going to be done. I wasn't notified of that ahead of time, so there was no way that I could let you know that how I wanted the sockets to be in the room. So I'm going to fight them on that. Third question was, when will drywall begin? Of course, we all want to know, you know, the process of how fast everything's going to move. Basically, he said to me that he's definitely making an executive decision not to start drywall until we have windows. We don't have windows yet. Our drywall meeting was January 21st. And he said at that moment that we weren't going to get windows until this week, which is, today is January 30th. And so he made his executive decision not to do drywall until windows, because basically if he were to put drywall in the house without having windows, the moisture and the cold air will prevent the drywall from drying properly, and then it will create condensation within the walls, and it will just be a whole mess. So he told us that there have been home buyers who want to rush it, be like, oh, we don't need to wait, we can go ahead, blah, 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 blah. But then be complaining when there's issues with their walls, if there's, you know, moisture in the walls, creating mold or whatever the case may be. So he said we're not behind as far as schedule, although we haven't gotten our windows yet. But either way, he's not going to put the drywall in until we get windows. So hopefully, prayerfully, we are having windows this week. So by the time you see this video, hopefully we will already have windows. But we'll see. Projected settlement day. He couldn't give me that because, you know, we're waiting on windows, and we're waiting on windows, and we can't do drywall because we're waiting on windows. So we don't really have a projected settlement day exactly. They're still just saying February, March, but February is 2 days from now. But it's probably going to be like either the beginning, middle. Well, I'm counting on March, period. So we'll see. I'll keep you all updated as the time progresses and as I get updated myself. Also, one of my lovely subscribers and Instagram followers on the homepage. Also, if you aren't following our homepage, make sure you follow it. This is it, Chateau de Moore. And anyway, so she reached out and asked about the estimated cost of getting a basement added to your home but unfinished. And the thing is, here up north, basements are usually included in the homes because to accommodate the lack of space to build wide, northern homes build up and down. So that's how northern homes get their square footage, is going up and down. Down south, most homes are one level or two level, and they're wider than the homes here in the northern area. And so sometimes basements may not be included when you get a house down south. I'm familiar with that because I'm actually from Georgia. I've been living up here 10 years actually this year. So I'm familiar. I understand the frustration of not being able to have a basement. But anyway, she asked about the cost of an unfinished basement. She gave me the square footage of her home, and I told her I would ask my construction manager, just based off of his expertise, how much would he say, or whether or not the amount that she gave was a good amount. And he basically said it would be a good amount for up here, up north, because of course materials cost more, but down south it is a bit steep. So she was able to let me know that I did help her out. He gave me a way more information, but I was able to help her out through asking my construction manager. But yeah, so that's it for the questions. Now let's get into what information he volunteered and what was definitely helpful that I was not familiar with. Okay, so as he was going throughout the house, he was explaining what's what, where it is, why it's there, and everything. But he was talking about the fire suppressant, and the fire suppressant actually is the same thing as the sprinkler system, and that's that big orange pipe that went throughout the entire house. And I believe I was inquiring about it last video. But basically he was saying how it is definitely something that you all must be careful with when you're doing major projects in the home. Like say if you're painting the entire house, you're painting the ceiling or whatever, make sure you do not, or tell the painter to do not hit it, because I'm not sure if all sprinkler systems are made this way, but he said that they send out so much water in a matter of seconds, and it would basically ruin your whole room. The furniture in the room, everything, the carpet, everything would just counted as being totaled out. So he basically made it known, or made it imperative that we understood to be careful with the fire sprinkler system, or as he called it, the fire suppressant. And if there really was a fire, it does not set off the entire fire or sprinkler system across the whole house. It only sets off the water within that particular room. Now if the fire spreads, then the next room sprinkler system will then go off, and then the water will then shoot out in that room. But it only goes off in whichever room that the sprinkler system was affected. But basically he definitely made sure, do not hit it mistakenly. Like, make sure you know if you have kids in the house or anything like that, make sure they're aware of the importance of not hitting it by mistake, playing with balls and stuff in the house. Because basically there is no way for, if you set it off, of course if there's a fire, he said get out the house, but if it's by mistake, you need to go down to the basement where the main valve is and turn it off, so that way you know the water won't continue to pour out and mess up your furniture and everything. But by the time you get down there, a lot of water has poured out. So again, be sure to be careful around the sprinkler system. The next thing he told us about was the passive vent, which are the, I guess you can say the main vents within the house, or the return vent. He said those are the vents to, of course, like I said, pass air throughout the home. But he did say to save on energy, have your temperatures in the home or the thermostat set on higher temperatures on the bottom floor when it's cold, to let the heat rise to the top floor. So instead of trying, like, okay, so we were talking about the dual system, the dual HVAC system. As you all know, we can regulate the temperature from both upstairs and downstairs. He was saying how to save on the heating bill. Since heat rises, you should have the temperatures on the bottom floor higher than the top floor, so that way when the heat rises, it will rise to the top floor, and then that will aid in heating those those rooms on the top floor, and it's vice versa for the summertime. So when you wanted to cool the house, you should have the upstairs floors cooler than the bottom floor, so that way the cool air can then flow down to the bottom floors and will assist with cooling off those floors. The closet that I always end up calling a reach-in closet, that's not a walk-in closet, he called it a ball catch closet. I'm guessing because the doors catch on some type of ball on the top and bottom. Okay, the next thing he talked about was that we are actually using 2x6 pieces of wood instead of 2x4 within or around the perimeter of the house, and that allows for them to put thicker insulation in the wall, so that way it won't, it will preserve energy. It won't be cold in there. Heat won't escape, cold air won't escape. And so he also talked about them not making the insulation too tight. If there's too much insulation, or if it's packed too tight, it will create condensation. He spoke about how the insulation used to be plastic way back when, even before the pink fluffy stuff or whatever, and that created a lot of condensation. It will create moisture behind the walls, and you'll see water spots on the walls, and you wouldn't know what caused it, and that's what was causing it. Also, he talked about the big beams, or not the beams, I guess where they're connected to the beams, but the big burgundy poles within the walls, like I guess was within the garage going across the middle of the house going down to the garage or to the basement. They're called Lally Columns, and they're used to transfer weight to the foundation for the garage. Also, he spoke about the type of insulation that's used in the perimeter of the basement is going to be called, or will be, R13 blanket insulation. That's the insulation that will, again, like I said, prevent air from escaping from the house around the perimeter of the house. He also talked about the benefits of having a walkout basement. He said with having a walkout basement, there is least likely for basement leaks, and the water actually drains naturally out from the house. So like, say if it's raining or whatever, or if there is a leak of some sort, something happens, the water will naturally drain away from the house instead of pooling at the base of the home, and then that will create leaks within the home. So that is definitely a benefit, or those are benefits of having a walkout basement. He spoke about us having, when we do decide to finish our basement, he spoke about us having a battery backup for our sump pump. He also talked about, I asked him what was the orange tube, I guess, coming from the fireplace going down to the basement, and it's called a low voltage Snorkel tube, and is used to house all of the technology cords, like I said, that is coming from behind the TV and the family room going down to the basement where all of the cords and stuff are housed in that panel. I asked him about what WP stood for. I was trying to figure out what that meant. They were like all like leading from the inside to the outside of the house, and they were called wall plugs, and therefore where outside plugs would be. So basically it would be where the outside plugs are in the front of the home, and the back where we would have a deck, that's where a plug would be on the outside of the house. So WP stood for wall plug. And I believe that's it. He also spoke about the size bar stools we should get for our island, and he said we would do better for 24-inch bar stools. Additionally, I asked him about our wet bar rough-in in the basement. Like I said, we're not getting the basement finished by the builder, but we did pay for having a wet bar rough-in, so that way when we do get it finished, then the plumbing and everything will be there for the wet bar. I saw some pipes that was there, and I asked him, was this the wet bar? And he said he didn't see it, and he's going to check and make sure that everything was right, because that was, again, the reason why we were there for the pre-construction, for the pre-drywall meeting, is to ensure that everything that we paid for was there, and that was the only thing that was not there. So that's going to be corrected. He just ensured that we had 9-foot walls. I think he said that it was standard to have 9-foot walls on the main floor, but not on the top floor. So it was beneficial for us to get 9-foot walls, or have it came included with the builder. The builder actually makes the top floor 9-foot walls. All builders don't do that, and he said that Like say if you go into the main floor where the kitchen and everything is, that's 9-foot floors. You go upstairs and it's 8 foot. It's like it makes the house look shorter, or it makes the space upstairs just look so shorter. So they create both main floor and top floors 9-foot floors, or 9-foot walls. And as you all know, we paid for 9-foot walls in the basement, so that way it'd be an even level on all floors of the house. So I believe that's it. Those are all of the things that we learned. It was definitely beneficial, especially how we can save on energy costs within the summer months and the winter months, as far as what temperatures we should have it on the first floor to help with the second floor and vice versa. I was definitely grateful to get all this information. I'm glad that he was able to provide this information. He seemed real happy to share it. So, you know, he was all about trying to make sure that we don't mess up this house that we paid all this money for. So, but yes, if there's anything else that you all may have any questions about, I have no problem with reaching out to my construction manager and asking him on behalf of you all, as I did for my other subscriber. And if you all have any questions, if I don't know, I will definitely find out. Maybe I will know something. Just put it in the comments below. Thank you all again. If you've watched this far, please make sure you subscribe. As I said before, sometimes YouTube will push these videos out because you're watching our videos on a consistent basis. However, you may not be subscribed, and I just don't want you all to miss out on anything. So make sure you subscribe. And if you like this video, if you learned something from this video, please make sure you like it also. All the likes help these videos get out to other people who could be benefiting from this. All right, you guys, thank you so much again, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.